Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. This video is part 3 of a 6-month test or a trial I did on disposing of some waste products, shredded paper, what else was there? Horse manure, and also a few coffee grounds, and I even threw some old Hessian bags into a compost bin as a set and forget experiment. Now I'll put the links of the parts 1 and 2 underneath. It was supposed to be a 6-month experiment. It's gone 12 months. I've been busy, what can I say? But given that any of you who are following my channel currently know that I'm under a lot of pressure to clean this place up and all my compost bins have to go, let's do the final test or the final inspection of this experiment and see just how the end product turned out. So here's the compost bin in question, and I'm going to give all my compost bins away very shortly because I've only got 3 weeks left here. I'll have to go and find a drill and a fitting, a tech screw fitting to take this side panel off, and we'll dig it out. And I've offered the contents of my compost bins to the local gardening group because we've got more than enough at home. Now this experiment, if you go back and look at the other 2 parts, I had a little bit in this bin. There was a little bit of compost, probably the first 2 boards, and then I layered shredded paper, horse manure, watered it all in, and then topped it off with a little bit of coffee grounds as well, and put this durner over it, and we just left it. There was absolutely no labour, and it went 3 months. Then we did a check, and that was the second video. It's been almost 9 months since then, right through summer, and we're back into winter. It's now June, which is about the time I started it, so it's gone 12 months. Totally neglected. Let's see what it's like. What's left? Pretty well just worm castings. Even the shredded paper from around the edges that hadn't quite been eaten in the last video is gone. Be interesting to dig into it. There's a bit of a weed growing over the other side. I did pull a couple of weeds out from the corners a couple of months back. Little bit of horse manure still in this side where it's got dry, but that looks absolutely magnificent. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Black gold, you would call that, for your garden. Now, it would be a beautiful additive to incorporate into a potting mix. I think it'd be too strong on its own to grow seedlings in. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, just to finish this video off, what do you think, Coco? That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Coco, hey, pretty nice. I think she's watching a bug somewhere. I'll go and get a screwdriver or a drill and a tech screw fitting and take that panel off, and we'll shovel it out and just see exactly how good it looks. Now it looks a little dry on the edge here. Let's dig into it a little bit. It's only really the edge. Once we get into the centre, it's looking beautiful, and there's still worms in there. Let's dig a fair bit more out. There's going to be a few tree roots come in, but we'll dig a bit more out and see how it looks in the middle. Okay, now I'm not sure if you can see how beautifully black this soil is. It's absolutely magnificent. It's not too wet. It's actually really nice for digging out. It crumbles up nicely. You don't really get any big clods, and if you do, they just break apart really nice. There's some fibrous roots from nearby plants. You're going to get that if you have the bottom open to the natural soil. Not so many worms in here at the moment. I'd say this is actually completely finished. There's certainly no sign of any shredded paper. No sign of anything that looks like horse manure, and no sign of anything that looks like coffee grounds. It's all magnificent soil. So just around the edges, we have, just in this corner, a little bit of manure still that's just dried. That's probably the only paper left out of boxes and boxes of shredded paper. A little bit of Hessian. I told you I threw a few bags in there, but the rest of it is fantastic soil. So look at that. Beautiful job. totally labor free other than just shoveling it in. And as you can see, it's condensed right down. Now we only had about, well, a couple of boards of compost, not even a couple of boards I don't think at the start, and we built it up to about 2/3 full, and it's all settled back down. And of course the original compost has continued to degrade into soil as well with the worms and other bacteria. That can all be shoveled straight on the garden. I'm going to have the local gardening group come, as I mentioned, and they can help themselves. I've got a few buckets here, and I'm sure they'll be very grateful, and I'm sure their gardens will be very grateful, and they'll get a few bonus worms as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. It just goes to show that it doesn't need very much labor to do this. You just really need a spot in the garden that you can just prime it, you know, load the bay up and just leave it and let the cold compost do the job. Let the bacteria move in and help, let the worms move in, and they can do all the work for you. When you get round to it down the track, shovel it out and put it straight on your garden. It's much better than going to a nursery or a hardware shop and buying expensive compost and that sort of stuff. In fact, it's probably a lot better than what you can buy. So I hope you enjoyed that. If I had the space and the time, and I clearly haven't got either at the moment for anyone that's been watching my channel recently, I would have bays set up everywhere and I'd process a lot of waste. But we don't have room at home, unfortunately, and I'm losing this yard, which is why I've got to pull all these compost bins apart. If you live locally and you've seen this video just recently as it's just been put up, and you want some compost bins, come and see me at the shop. There's a chance there might be some left. I'm happy to give them away to anyone that loves compost, loves gardening, and loves recycling. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Bye for now.